In the aftermath of Jin's stunning appearance at Milan Fashion Week, a brief but telling moment between the BTS star and Gucci's top executive has ignited global debate. During a press interaction following the premiere of the Tiger at Palazzo Mezzanotte, Gucci's CEO was asked by a European journalist whether the brand's recent surge in attention was largely dependent on Jin BTS. The CEO, rather than giving a direct answer, simply smiled, an expression that has since been interpreted as a tacit acknowledgement of Jin's unparalleled influence on the luxury label. The moment, captured on video and widely circulated across social media, quickly became a trending clip with captions such as, "That smile says everything," and "Gucci runs on Jin." Fans argued that the CEO's reaction was more powerful than any verbal confirmation, as it suggested an unspoken truth. Gucci's current momentum owes much to Jin's global star power. Analysts were quick to weigh in. Business of Fashion noted that while Gucci has always relied on celebrity partnerships, Jin's role as global ambassador since 2024 has sparked a measurable cultural and financial impact. His Milan appearance alone generated over 1 million online mentions within 24 hours, dwarfing coverage of Hollywood icons like Demi Moore and Edward Norton, who attended the same event. Bloomberg added that Gucci's stock value experienced a minor but noticeable lift during Fashion Week, a phenomenon some are now calling the Jin effect. For fans, the CEO's smile was more than a business signal. It was validation. ARMY flooded platforms like X and TikTok with compilations of Jin's appearances, pairing them with the now famous smile. "Gucci can't say it out loud, but we all know the truth," one fan posted. Jin isn't just an ambassador, he's their lifeline. Fashion critics also joined the conversation. Italian outlets described the scene as a moment of quiet honesty, while US media outlets debated whether Gucci's success could now be separated from Jin's presence at all. "It was a single smile," wrote Variety, but it carried the weight of an admission. Jin BTS has become central to Gucci's cultural revival. As speculation continues, the CEO's subtle reaction may go down as one of the most symbolic moments of Milan Fashion Week 2025. Jin's dominance on the global stage is no longer a matter of fan enthusiasm. It is now being silently recognized at the highest levels of the fashion industry. The ripple effect of the Gucci CEO's smile did not stop with fans and analysts. It quickly reached the wider celebrity world. Several Hollywood stars who attended the premiere of the Tiger were asked about Jin's presence in Milan. While none made direct comments, subtle gestures revealed much. One American actor, known for his long-standing collaboration with luxury brands, admitted off-camera that it was impossible to ignore the energy when Jin walked in. Another European model remarked in a live interview that she had never seen such a frenzy for one person, not even for the biggest names in fashion. The comparison to Hollywood's dominance was unavoidable. International press outlets began openly asking whether Jin had outshined traditional stars at Milan Fashion Week. The Hollywood Reporter noted that while Demi Moore and Edward Norton played central roles in Gucci's short film, the coverage surrounding the event shifted dramatically toward Jin. "The red carpet may have been filled with legends," the article wrote, but the story of the night belonged to Jin BTS. In France, Le Figaro published a commentary, suggesting that Jin's arrival marked a passing of the torch, where European fashion houses, long dependent on Hollywood icons, were now embracing K-pop idols as their new faces of luxury. The Gucci CEO's smile, the commentary added, was not just a reaction. It was recognition of the future. Even in the United States, where skepticism of K-pop's longevity sometimes lingers, the tone shifted. Vanity Fair ran a feature titled, "Is Jin BTS Gucci's Secret Weapon?" exploring the possibility that Gucci may have found in Jin what it once found in movie stars of the past, a global figure capable of reshaping brand identity. "One smile can hide 1,000 truths," the article concluded, and this one hinted that Gucci knows exactly where its strength lies. Social media buzzed with reactions from influencers and stylists. One American stylist posted, "I've worked with Hollywood stars for decades. But watching Jin in Milan, it was clear he is not just wearing Gucci, he is Gucci." European influencers echoed the sentiment, with many joking that the Gucci CEO doesn't need to answer. Jin already answered with his presence. What made the situation more striking was how seamlessly Jin bridged the gap between celebrity cultures. Hollywood is accustomed to ruling the red carpet, yet in Milan, a Korean singer-songwriter, fresh from military service, redefined the rules without needing theatrics or provocation. His calm, confident aura, amplified by the CEO's wordless smile, was enough to tilt global conversation in his favor. As Milan Fashion Week wrapped up, it became clear that this was more than a fleeting moment. It was the beginning of a cultural reckoning. Gucci's reliance on Jin was no longer speculation. It was visible in numbers, in media headlines, in celebrity commentary, and in the way the CEO's smile became a metaphor for silent truth. Jin BTS had not only attended Milan Fashion Week, he had conquered it. When Jin finally touched down at Incheon International Airport, the frenzy of Milan seemed to follow him across continents. Cameras clicked, fans screamed, and the black leather jacket he wore became an instant trending topic online. Yet beyond the flashbulbs and fan chants, there was a deeper story unfolding. Milan had been a stage, but Korea was the return of its hero. The world was watching, and the spotlight refused to dim. The Gucci CEO's smile still echoed in headlines around the globe. American anchors discussed it on primetime television, while European columnists called it the most powerful non-answer of Fashion Week. That small moment, paired with Jin's commanding presence in Milan, became a symbol of something far greater. The undeniable truth that BTS's eldest member had transcended the boundaries of music and carved his place in history as a cultural figure of unmatched influence. For ARMY, his return was bittersweet. They saw their idol walk through the arrival's gate with humility, bowing politely to cameras, hiding his exhaustion behind a gentle smile. They remembered the boy who once dreamed of singing, the man who endured military service, and now the global ambassador who carried Gucci's image on his shoulders. To them, this wasn't just Jin returning home. This was proof that their support had carried him into the heart of the world's fashion capital, and that he had emerged victorious. Back in Europe, critics were still grappling with the scale of what had occurred. La Repubblica wrote that Jin had turned Milan into a stage, while New York Times published an opinion piece calling him the most important crossover star of his generation. It was a rare alignment, East and West, fashion and music, all agreeing that Jin was no longer just a guest at the table. He was the main course. Bang Si-hyuk's praise sealed the narrative. By calling Jin the finest representative of BTS in global fashion, Bang elevated his eldest artist into a league rarely touched by idols. It was not only a personal compliment, but a declaration of strategic intent. Jin wasn't simply a fashion face. He was the gateway through which BTS, and by extension K-pop, would continue to redefine the global luxury industry. And so, as Jin walked quietly through the airport, clutching his bag and nodding gently at fans, he carried more than luggage. He carried the weight of Milan's applause, the smile of a Gucci CEO, the endorsement of his agency's founder, and the roar of ARMY who knew they were witnessing history. His journey to Italy had been about fashion. His return to Seoul was about legacy, and the end. Milan Fashion Week was not the conclusion, but the prologue. Jin's story, once confined to stages and arenas, now stretched into runways, boardrooms, and headlines in every language. The boy from Gwacheon who once hesitated to audition had become the man who made global media bow their heads. And as he vanished into the car waiting for him at Incheon, the question lingered like a prophecy. If Jin could outshine Hollywood in Milan, what world would he conquer next?